what was your rationale for going with that starting lineup, and what would you expecting to get out of the starting lineup?
A lot of things went involved. Just felt like injecting Derek in the starting lineup. Santi's been playing well, helping our bench, a variety of different things, challenging D-Rod, defensive assignments. Those guys responded. D-Rod had a heck of a first half. Thought he was locked in on the defensive side, let the game come to him on the offensive side. Derek was phenomenal tonight. Just his pace of play, 9 assists, obviously the scoring ability. It was great. And then obviously Santi adjusting to the bench role took him until maybe about the second half to kind of get into it. But overall, all those guys adapted well. Had a jolt, obviously down one in the first quarter, but then even our bench came in. Zaire did a lot of great things defensively, offensively. I thought Vince did some great things defensively for us. Overall, great team effort, 6 guys in double figures, multiple assists from multiple guys. Jaren, 6 blocks. I think that's a season high for him. It was a great effort by the group.
Everything tonight felt a little bit quicker with a little bit more tempo. Was especially fast break opportunities. Was that an emphasis from last game to this game, or has that kind of always been the case all season, but it hasn't worked out yet until a game like this?
Yeah, I think it's been an emphasis, for years. So obviously Derek, helps in that department. He plays at that pace, but regardless of what the lineups have been, we got to get stops to run. They hurt us with second chance opportunities. They still got 19 second chance points. It was hurting us in that first quarter, but when we were able to kind of go on that run in that second quarter, we were getting stops. Guys were flying around, created some turnovers. I think they had like 18 turnovers of the night, blocked shots, forced them in a tough 2-point field goal percentage. Obviously, they shot the ball well from the 3-point line, but I just kept telling the guys, like, when we're physical, got an edge, we're scrapping around, and they make a shot, great, but when we can start getting stops, we got to get out and run. We kicked the ball ahead a little bit more. I think a lot of guys, felt that, we were able to, scrap, get boards. Multiple guys were bringing the balls up the floor. We were getting wide open threes there in the first that just weren't falling down. But then as the game went on, we just kind of just built on that pace, knocked down some transition shots, layups, and then it just kind of fed into our half-court offense. A couple stalled moments here and there, but overall the pace was definitely a huge improvement, but that's got to be the case every single night.
Coach, I know it's just one of 82. How did it feel to get that first home win?
Yeah, it's great to get that one under the belt. Obviously, the fans were phenomenal tonight, turning out, obviously, with us struggling at home. I think hopefully they can be proud of the competitive juices from our guys and how they responded, holding to the Jazz in 91 when they've been basically averaging 120-plus against us is really impressive. The carryover from the last couple of days, but even just what we've been talking about all season long, just you got to keep chipping away, keep, fighting and all that stuff. This was an example of it, but as I told them, don't be satisfied. This isn't good enough. We got to be better even moving forward, but this sets a tone, a home or away, but to get that first one under home, circumstances is really good.
Taylor, what did you think about the urgency you guys played with today? It just looked like, some of those 50-50 balls, one with Zaire, one with Derrick Rose, looked like you were just a step quicker than you thought today. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, we talked about that, especially at halftime too. I thought we were the guys, outside like maybe some, defensive rebound opportunities that we missed, not getting hits, and them kind of coming up with some. I think they had maybe something double-digit second chance points already at halftime. We talked about those loose ball situations, the pressure that we needed on the ball, guys in passing lanes, tip balls, whatever it is. When the ball was on the ground, we seemed to come up with that more often when it was a true 50-50 ball situation. So just having that mentality, thought the urgency was great. Competitive back and forth first quarter, competitive back and forth third quarter, second quarter run really helped us. But I think that's where it kind of turned with our just activity defensively, guys getting better at the game plan, the rotations, and then just those winning plays. But those guys in particular, Zaire, I think, Derek had one, a couple other guys had some as well, just like going for those plays. Those are momentum builders for you.
Taylor, so, before over the past couple of games, you said communication's been a big point of emphasis lately. And just with the back line of the defense, there's 3 guys, Steve-O, BC, X, familiar guys that Jaren's used to playing with that aren't there to communicate and help him there. How have you seen Jaren kind of grow in this situation, especially with like his defensive impact that it shown tonight?
Yeah, tonight was one of his best defensive performances for sure. He and I actually talked about it this morning, and he's, talked about the chemistry he's trying to develop, not just with the frontline players, but all the guards too. In tonight's game plan really necessitated guys on the baseline to be, ultra communicative, with their guys. I thought Jaren did a really good job. Obviously we, made that a point of emphasis in practice yesterday. But this was a step in the right direction for him, for the team. And I think I said it the other day, we got to take leaps in this. when we're dialed in, it allows our guys to be even more physical on the ball, knowing that they got the trust of their teammates behind them. Those guys are locked in, and then our scramble situations when we're active, we dial that up. We can be pretty good defensively. So really, good to talk to him because he's recognizing, hey, I'm trying to develop chemistry with these guys, talking about stuff with Biz, talking with stuff with Derek or some of these guards, where I'm at, where I can help them, and it goes vice versa too. Tonight was part of our game plan was the communication between JJ and the Smalls, and D-Rod to start and D-Rod to him. I thought they did a really good job.
How you felt about the pairing of Jay Noel and Vince Williams Jr. as it felt like they brought a defensive spark when you put them both in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, those guys gave us a spark. I know Jaylen didn't have a scoring night, but he's continuing to move the ball the right way. So I'm really proud of him there. And Vince, last couple of games, really showcased like an edge on the defensive side, just taking on whether it's a game plan related thing or just his one-on-one defense has been good, keeping guys in front, playing with a physical tone there. He's been really solid in that department. 6 defensive rebounds. I think a number of our guards had 5+, 6+, rebounds. So really impressed with that. We'll see what the lineup combinations are moving forward, but Vince has done a really good job defensively. And, Jaylen's got more opportunities in the next couple of games. And I keep telling him just, it's the defense first and then let your scoring ability come, within the flow of the offense.
Taylor, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it felt like a bit of a moment in the season when you have the Marcus Smart thing the last game. It sounded like yesterday's practice was a pretty notable practice in the grand scheme of things. To have positive reinforcement coming off of that and having the type of effort you saw, what can that do for morale? What do you hope it does for this team now that you're moving forward?
Well, I think it shows that our guys care. Sometimes we talk about working in the mud and all that stuff, getting uncomfortable with pushing each other and all that stuff. Our guys can respond. That's the biggest thing. Obviously everything from Marcus the last game, what we did as a team after that game, what we did as a team in practice yesterday. It's all just a totality of things. These guys care. I know. I think I said it after the game. They're pissed. They're frustrated. They know this is unacceptable. So that care factor really rises to the top. And then for them to get this effort tonight against a team that's given us problems the first 2 games is great. But now the challenge is going to be, can we continue pressing upon each other even more and more to get that winning recipe up and running for 48 minutes every single night. So care factor, the response was awesome. Glad to see the last couple of days trend to that, but it's also been the last couple of weeks in my opinion. But as you said, kind of this moment in time in the season, hopefully it can spark us move forward. Who knows what the results will be, but it's got to be on these terms.
Word simple over and over again these last few days, both from you and from the players. Do you think you were able to play more simple, and what does that look like? And what do you mean when you say that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of different things. I mean, it's an interesting balance between playing simple but also playing free. There's a randomness to how we play, so the connectivity and how guys play off each other is super important in what we do. But when it comes to game plans, the communication right is the key. What am I communicating to the team? What are the teammates communicating to each other defensively? I think that's a big priority for us. So we want to make sure we're simple with our game plan, our player tendencies, and all that. But then just our pure fundamentals, like shell, our basic team defense was huge for us tonight. So stuff like that, just making sure I'm being mindful of the things we're giving them defensively, but even offensively is, we got guys changing, different roles, lineups, what's going well, what are, teams throwing at us. It's blitzes, it's switches, it's shade left, they're sending us to the left, trying to just give them simple stuff. And obviously we got a huge playbook, and I'm just trying to be very mindful of what are the calls, what gives them the best chance to execute, make the right reads, play with your teammates, as simple as that. That's the work we've been putting in, and it's going to be a continued challenge moving forward, but that's been at the forefront of my mind is the communication. What am I giving them defensively so they can communicate at a high level? Same thing goes with offensively so that we get great execution and they know how to dial up and play together. Great. Thanks, everybody.